Okay, students, in this session, I am going to discuss with you regarding the first I will discuss keywords, then afterwards the control structure which is used in Java, then afterwards the arrays in Java. Let's start with the keywords in Java. Keywords are the reserved words, and these keywords are particular words that act as a key to the code. Means these are predefined words and the meaning of these words are already defined within the compiler, and keyword is always written in the small letters. Like till now you had used the class is the one keyword, like public, that is the keyword. Void main, static is the keyword, we can say. Okay, all these keywords always start with the small letters. We represent it with small letters, and these are reserved meaning. These are the reserved words, and the meaning of these words are predefined. Now let's start with the next thing, that is the control structure. As you had read in the C++ also, that control structure is always divided into three parts. One is decision-making statements. Second is a loop statement. Third is a jump statement. Decision means which include the if else, nested if, and switch statement, that is also part of decision. While making any decision, like to check whether the given number is even or not, you use the if statement. Okay, it's any question, like to check whether any condition, whenever you want to check any condition only, then you make, whenever you want to make a decision greater of two numbers, then you use the decision making statements. And the switch statements, when multiple cases comes in the switch statement. And next comes the looping. Repetition of steps are done with the concept of looping. You are already aware about the do while loop, for loop, and there is one more, that is a for each. This is the one thing differ from the C++. C doesn't have the for each, but the Java contain the for each loop also. There is another jump statements. Jump statement include the break and the continue. Break and continue, and there is a no go to statement in the Java. There are only two jump statements are available in Java, that are the break statement and the continue statement. There is no go to statement in the Java. Instead of the go to statement, we use the concept of the labeled loop in Java. We use the concept of the labeled loop in the case of Java. Okay, now let's move to the ID or editor. Now, the syntax, I suppose as everyone knows about the syntax of if statement, switch statement, for. Everyone is aware about the each syntax of decision control. Like the for, whenever I want to write the for loop, I have to write the first we have to initialize the value. We initialize the value like int, next semicolon, then we give the condition, that is the syntax. Then afterwards we give the increment, decrement, that is the thing. Okay, this is the syntax of the for loop. Similarly, if is like if, this is a syntax of if, which include the condition, that is if syntax. All the syntax are similar as that of the C++. No difference between a syntax. The syntax is same as that of same. If you write in small letters, you have to write in small letter. It specifies the condition, that you have to write this condition only. The same. This is initialization, condition. Increment, decrement, increment, decrement. Now, the two things I want to discuss with you, that is about the first jump statements, about the jump statements. Okay, jump statements include the one break. There is a one break, and second is the continue. In jump statements, there are the two types of statements. One is the continue, and second is the one is a break, and second is the continue. Now let's start with the break. I'm going to make the program. There is one class keyword, that is the control structure. I will write a CS, control structure. Then afterwards, public static void main string ARC. Now everyone is aware about this thing. What is, why we are writing these statements. Brackets close. Okay, in this now I'm going to discuss about the break statement. Suppose I have written for loop. Within that for loop, initializing the value, and then afterwards, here I am giving one condition, like if I greater than I equal to 5, I'm giving the condition, and within this condition it should break, and closing the for loop. Then afterward, yes, closing of the for loop. And here I'm taking one statement, system dot out dot print ln, and within that write the like int is a variable. Let's take an int variable, brackets. Okay, now outside the main, I am also making one statement like end of the program. That is the program. Let's save this code with desktop. CSC2, that is cs.java. Save the file. Now let's compile the code. Java cs.java. Java C. Whenever we want to compile, we have to write a Java C command. There is no error. Now we will write Java. Let's see. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4 and the end of the program. Output will be 1, 2, 3, 4 and end of the program. As you can see, I is equal to 1. I is equal to 1. True condition. I doesn't match. False condition. Break will not execute. But this statement will execute because this is a part of the for loop. This is not the part of the break, if loop. If I write like this, it means loop which contain only one, if statement which contain only one statement, if which contain only one statement. Okay, we can write like this also, or we can write like this also. This if represent means only single statement. If condition will be satisfied true, then this will be executed. Let's move to the 5 directly. If I take here the 5 value, 5 means it will directly come out of the loop directly. If when I will write here, when the compiler move to the 5 true condition, break statement will execute. Break statement execute means it will come out of the loop. Come out of the loop. Where loop closed? Here loop closed. Loop closed, and it will display the system.out.println program. That is the output. Okay. Now, if I write here continue word, if I write the continue word, now let's execute the code. First save the code. Let's save the code. Now going to compile the code. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4. Excluding 5, rest of all the numbers will be displayed on the screen. That is the continue statement. Continue statement means it will not execute when the condition will true. Then if when condition is true, continue means it will not execute rest of the statements which are coming within the loop. It will not execute the set of the statements which are coming within the loop. And it again move to the for loop. In the case of the continue, it again move to the for loop and start executing the rest of the statements. But if I write here the break, word, then that means whenever break comes, it will exit the for loop and come to the next set of the statements. It will not move backward. Whether in the case of the continue, it will continue with the set of the, it will skip the set of the statements for particular block and again move to the loop. But in the case of break, it will not execute the set of rest statements and directly move to this part. Now let's move to the another jump statement, that is the labeled break. Labeled break means like the similar the go to. We can't able to use the go to statement in the Java, but labeled can be used as that of the go to. Like let's make one more loop within this loop. I'm going to make one more loop. And I enter j, let's take j equal to 0, j less than equal to like let's take small values. Small values. Okay. Now I j plus plus. I am taking one more loop within the loop, that is called a nested for loop. This represents the concept of the nested for loop. And within this loop, taking one condition, if I equal to 2, and this is the logical operator, and I equal to true, which works on the truth table. And with here I'm writing the break. Here I'm writing the break. And let's take this if within the brackets. Okay, now here print I, then afterwards concatenate this. Then let's take okay, concatenate. Let's give the space between the I and J. Again, write the concatenate word and write the J. Okay, means first it will print the I value, then space concatenate means on the same line it will provide the space and then print the J value. Now let's check the loops. For loop, and there is one more for loop bracket. Okay, you can take 1 open, 2 open, 3 open, and 4 open, and 5. Similarly, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 closed. Let's save the code. Now this is a simple basic program which contains the nested for loop. One is the one for I and second is for the J. Now here I'm going to implement the logic of labeled loop. Labeled like a similarly here I give the like any variable name, anything you can write like this. Similarly as at the go to. Okay, label, it is represent the label column. Label. Okay, and here within this is for the this for loop, and here I'm taking another label that is B column. This is another label. I have taken two labels, one is the A and second is the B. Okay, now let's take here one label like AA. With break, I am presenting the label name. With break, I am representing the label name and closing the bracket. Now let's save the code. Error. Oh, J is not declared. No error. Let's execute this. Yes. I'm again compiling it and executing it. Now you can see the output. Let's execute the code. I is equal to 1. I is equal to 1, that is the true condition. It moves inside the next loop. J is equal to 1, that is also true condition. It executes the next loop. I is 1, J is 1, but is a false. It will not execute these statements and print 1, 1. Now again it moves to the which loop? That is the J. Again it will move to the J loop. J1 dash. Now J is 2. True, less than 3. Yes, true condition. But we have written the and. And means both conditions should be true, then only it will execute. If I write here or, then only one condition should be true. And means both conditions should be true. But here I is 1 and J is 2. So this part will not execute. And our output will be I is 1 and J is 2. Now again, it will move to the nested for loop of the J. Now J is 3, again true condition, but it does not satisfy this and display the I3. Now again it moved to the J. Now J is 4. Condition is false. So now it moved to the above I loop. Now I is 2. If I is 2, that is the true condition. True condition means again it will execute the j equal to 1, j1 I2 false condition not executed, and display 2 and 1, 2 and 1. Now let's move to the again j will be executed. Now j is 2, I is 2, j is 2, true condition. Now here listen, look here, break means it will be come out of the loop, but from which loop we want to come, that represent here. I am writing here the A means I want to come out from the A loop. A represent for this, that is label. We are representing that go to this loop and break that loop. Move to this loop and break that loop. So after that, it will directly move to the here, this part. But if I write here the BB, save the code. Let's run it. First compile it. Now let's execute it. You can see excluding 2 to it is displaying the values like 31, 32, 33. This break B means it will break the only this loop. It will come out only from the this loop. Like if I am writing here the break B only, if I am writing here the B only, you can see the output that if I am writing the B, let's save the code again and execute. I have to save the code again. Yes, you can see if I'm writing the B and it will be come from the particular loop. And if I'm writing here the BB, that represent from which loop I want to come out. Like if I write here AA, if I write here AA, that represent I come out from the A loop. If I write here break AA and here I am writing like this. Let's save the code. And okay, now let's start with our next topic, that is array. That is array. Array is basically similar as that of the C++. Like in the C++, we called the array as a homogeneous collection of the data. Similarly, here also we called an array as a homogeneous collection of data. Means we can able to save the same type of data. Same way, like in C++, we know that we contain the array like the array 0 index, 1, 2, 3 up to n minus 1. That is the where we store the data, and data is of the same type. And what are the advantages? Advantages is array provide us code optimization. It provides us the code optimization, which means it makes the code optimized and we can easily sort or retrieve the data. And second advantage is random access. Random access means from anywhere we can able to access the data. Randomly just specify the location and we can access the data. That is the advantages. These two are the advantages of an array. And disadvantages of array is size limit. Size limit, as we have to fix the size in the case of array. Okay, this is only disadvantage that in the case of C++ also, or in the case of the Java. Now, types of array. Types of array. One is single dimensional array. Single dimensional array. Second is multi-dimensional array. There are two types of array in the C in Java, that is the single dimensional array and the multi-dimensional array. Now, in single dimensional array, the syntax of writing in the case of single dimensional array is first specify the data type, then square brackets, then the name of the array. This is the one syntax. You can able to write like this also, or you can write like this also. Data type, space, square brackets, array. Or you can write like this also, like C++, data type, array, and this. Means you can choose any method for declaring of an array. This is the method how we can declare an array. Now remember this thing, like example is like int a equal to like this. I'm specifying its size. Means this is the data type and this is the array name and this is the square brackets. Or you can write like this also, data type and the array. Or here specify the size also. It depends upon you. Or you can write like this also. This is the way how we can declare an array. Now, this will just a declaration. It will not occupy any memory. In the case of C++, whenever we write like this, it will occupy the memory. But in Java, actually, our allocation is always performed into the heap. Memory is allocated into the heap. So, heap will execute only whenever we allocate the memory during runtime. Now, if I have to allocate the memory to array, I have to specify int a array. This is an array. Now, with array equal to write the new. New is I am going to allocate the memory to this array. And new, then which type of data? Int. Then write here int. And then within int write square brackets and how much data you want to store. Suppose I want to store the 5 values, then it will write this. Means this will declare the array as well as allocate the memory within the array. In Java, we always allocate the memory with new operator and it will allocate the memory during the runtime. Dynamic memory allocation is done in the runtime. And as you know, whenever we use the new keyword, it will allocate memory into the heap. Heap is one data structure, which you had already studied in the data structure topic. In this way, we can declare an array and how we can allocate the memory to an array. That is in this way. Now let's make one small program which includes the array as well as the one concept of loop, that is for each. That is for each loop. Now I'm going to make the one program class. Class name is test. Within that, public static void main. And as you know, curly bracket start. Int array Here. We can also initialize like this, like 3. This means I am allocating the memory, and this memory will be allocated into the stack. Whenever I write the new keyword, then it will allocate the memory into the RAM, into the heap. But whenever I am directly initializing the value, then this value will be stored into the stack. But always prefer to use the heap concept in the case of the Java. Okay, now next comes for and I colon A R R. This is a loop, for loop, which contain data type, variable name, colon is the syntax, and this specify the array size. This specify the array size, like, okay. Now, if I write here, SOP I, curly bracket start, curly bracket close, then you can see the output will be 33, 3, 4, 5, means 0 location, 1 index, 2 index, 3 index. And this array will start always from the first location and move to up to the end, and always move up to the end. In the case of array, whenever you want to scan the whole data, from starting to ending, then use this loop. It will always start from the starting position. It will all start the execution from the starting and move till end. That is the for each loop. Now, there is the one difference between the for loop and this for loop. There is a difference between this loop and this loop. Sorry. Okay, now let's make an array. Basically, now I'm going to discuss with you regarding how we can pass an array to any method. How we can pass an array to any method. Going to make the program passing an array to a method. Method means function. Okay. Now the class is visible. Class, we had already designed the class. Let's change the name. We are working on the arrays concept. Let's make AR. Yes. The name should be different. Okay, now within this, first I want to work on the method. First I have to create the method. Now let's create a method, and we always create, this is one method. This is main is the one method. Now here I am going to make the another method. Void min, that is any method you can take the name. Now bracket close, curly bracket, here end taking the value. Let's take an array. Starting location of an array. Okay. Within this, take the for loop. I'm making for loop and I equal to 1, I less than ARR. Now here I am taking the 1 dot length. Length represent the length of an array. I plus plus. This is a loop, and within this loop, I am writing if min is greater than AR, that is the array. This is for taking the, I'm taking the condition. If it is true, then min equal to ARR, it will store the array 0, 1, 2, 3 into the min and then print that value Just copying here from here. I'm going to copy and here I will write the variable name min. Okay, this is the min. Now let's I am going to close here the loop. First close the loop, okay, and then also close the min also.
मैम तो लूप को क्लोज करेंगे प्रिंट स्टेटमेंट के पहले क्लोज करेंगे तो उसकी पहले से लूप हो जाएगा एंड बाद
Let's take an array and I'm initializing the value of an array. Take a same like 3, 5 or take another value also like this. It means we are declaring and initializing the array at the same time. Now min brackets. Now you can see here, if I write the min, means min method. This is the method. The method name is min. It will transfer the control here. Array 0, but we have not passed any value. It will start displaying the 0 value. So here first we have to pass an array. Array passing means we directly give the A. We directly give the A. It means it will directly specify at the 0 location. And all of you know, while declaring many methods, if we specify the parameters, then we first write the data type. Then we write the array name and like this. Okay. Let's save the code. We have given the name, that is, the name of the program is, what is the name of the program? ARR. In the capital letters?
No, small.
Like this? Yes? Let's save it, then we will check. Yes. Okay, this is our program. Now, tell me what. Let's run the code. The name of the code array file is arr.java. This is the name of the file. Array. Okay, yes. We have declared the method here, and that method should, because we want to access here, whenever we want to access something within the static method, okay, then we have to write here the static word also.
Yes,
like the variables.
Yes, ma'am.
Like the variables. If I want to use want to use this method outside the main, that should be static. So I have to write here the static keyword. Now you can see no error.
Public, ma'am.
The output is 3. The output is the 3.